Hello friends, as we are going to see the types of drama, and in my previous lecture or video we briefly discussed on tragedy and its types. Today we are going to see comedy as a type of drama. At the most fundamental level, comedy focuses on pleasure and amusement. The spectators are made to feel confident that no great disaster will occur, and usually the action turns out to be happy at all. The spectators are quite firm about the scenes and about the tragic incidences, that no such tragic incident will happen in the drama, and that's why each and every spectator is happy because he knows that the end of the drama will definitely a happy one. Allardis Nicole describes three techniques of comedy which create a comic detachment. That is, we laugh at the hardship of comic characters because the author sets them as a psychological distance. Derision, incongruity, and automatism. So these are some three to four techniques of comedy. There are many incidences which is created in a comic way. Derision takes aim at human frailties such as stupidity, hypocrisy, and arrogance, knocking the victim off his self built pedestal. There are stupidity in the comedy, there are hypocrisy in the comedy, and there are arrogance also. uh, the characters have, which are knocking the victim off his self built pedestal. Character builds self pedestal, and on which all this stupidity, hypocrisy, arrogance are constructed. Through that, they can easily trap in such a situation. The character too pretends more, thus setting himself up for the fall. Pretend characters are there. The characters usually pretend that they are more superior than others, like that. And that's why setting himself up for the fall. They themselves set himself, or they themselves set themselves for the fall. With insults and sarcasm, comedy's sharp wit seeks to pierce the o'er-inflamed egos of pompous politicians, bragging generals, and haughty aristocrats. Derision creates distance by placing its objects beneath us as contemptible and foolish. Shakespeare's Twelfth Night is a classical example of such kind of a comedy. Incongruity provokes laughter by means of ridiculous contrast in situation, character, or dialogue. The unexpected element takes us by surprise. Misplaced words or statements are also a source of laughter. You have perhaps seen many comedies in Marathi movies and Hindi movies also, especially the comic scenes of Johnny Lever and the comic scenes of Govinda and the comic scenes of Lakshmikant Berde and Ashok Saraf in Marathi. You definitely knew that what kind of a situation is created by the dramatist, and the characters play their role in a proper way with appropriate sentences and appropriate punch, we can say, so that the humor can create, so that the comedy can create. People used to see such kinds of movies mostly. The movies of Dada Konke also are the examples of such comedy, because people try to go to the theater for their entertainment and amusement. So amusement and entertainment is the base of comedy, and that's why uh, comic characters are created in a serious movie also to give relief to the audience. The spectator feels some uh, the spectator should feel some relief uh, in a serious movie, and that's why such characters are created and um, inserted in a serious drama also. So such comedy, like Midsummer's Night's Dream or by Shakespeare, or Gogol's The Inspector General. So these are the comedies of uh, prime importance, having all the comic rules and regulations. Automatism occurs when people are depicted as acting without thinking. Automatism, the incidences and the scenes uh, takes place automatically with the behavior of the character. Undoubtedly, the action by the character is always without thinking. Comic characters often have annoying habits or mannerisms. There are some habits with them. There are some manners with them in the nature of a comic character, and that's why their manners and their habits create a comic atmosphere. They lose the ability to interact naturally because of their habits and their mannerism. They lose their ability to interact naturally. They are unable to interact with each other naturally. Very good example of such incidents is that there are many scenes in Gammat Jammat in Marathi movie, and uh, many such movies uh, such movies of Lakshmikant Bede and Ashok Saraf. Both the characters are definitely a comic one, and they picked up some specific habits and specific mannerism with uh, specific qualities while interacting with each other, or in their activities with other people also, or other characters also in the drama. So such kind of mannerisms and habits are essential things in the nature of the character, and that's why they are able to create a effective comedy. They lose the ability to interact naturally. For example, Anton Chekhov's The Marriage Proposal is the best example of such kind of a comedy. Comedies makes us of several of the traditional roles. They tend to portray characters as recognizable stereotypes. So, comic characters remain on the other side of line separating fiction from reality. The world of comedy is characterized by absence of real pain. There is definitely the absence of real pain in the comedy. So real pain is not there in the comedy, and for all its criticism of human limitations, hypocrisy, and foolishness, comedy views human beings as survivors. Human beings are depicted in such a comedy, and it is shown like they are the survivors, and ultimately by criticizing the nature of behavior of the people, and there are definitely the characteristics like hypocrisy and foolishness with the comedy. In comedy, we laugh at our shortcomings and learn from our failures. We also learn from the comedy because we learn something from the shortcomings of the characters and learn from our failures. Sometimes we learn from our failures more than the success. If the people become successful, then mm, they are unable to learn more things. But if they are failed in their task and work, definitely they will not do the same mistake in future. The lesson that is taught to the person by the situation definitely helpful in their future life. That's why comedy is also motivates the spectators to learn something or to take some lessons from the experience of the characters. So, in this work of ethics, Aristotle describes two types of contrasting characters. The braggart pretends to be more than he is, while the ironist seems to be less than he is. There are two characters. One is braggart, who feels himself that he is more superior than he is actually. And there is ironist, the character who feels that he is less than actual he is. So Aristotle defined comedy as written about persons of minor importance whom their faults rendered ridiculous. The pair of crafty schemer and the parasite was one of the most popular plots. This can be witnessed in Ben Jonson's Volpone, published in 1606, where the Volpone and Mosca trick others out of money and wives both. Similarly, Horner in The Country Wife, published in 1675. So such characters are depicted in these two dramas. One is Ben Jonson's Volpone and Horner's The Country Wife, as Aristotle said. There are two characters he said there. One is braggart and another is ironist. So these two characters are quite essential in the comedy. So comedy is definitely a type of drama, no doubt at all. But there are some sub parts of comedy. One is farce, second is comedy of manners, third one is a sentimental comedy, fourth one is a comedy of humor, fifth one is a tendency comedy, and sixth one is festive comedies. All these comedy types we will see in detail. Comedy as a form. So this is the important type of drama which generally considered not as equal to the tragedy. Tragedy is definitely, undoubtedly, great type of drama, no doubt at all. But comedy really try to is really trying to amuse the people. So amusement is the major intention of performing art. You are there to perform, to amuse the people, and that's why I think comedy is also equally important to the tragedies. We will see some more types in my next video. Thank you.